I really quite got along with most of them. For the most part, like we kind of just became friends and tried to co-navigate this crazy life with tons of kids and all this responsibility, homeschooling, cooking, cleaning, keeping up with a big home, and just all the things, and you had the only way to really like survive, because that's really all you're doing is surviving, is to just make friends with the people that you live with, even if you don't totally like get along. At some point, you just have to be like, hey, we live here in this house together. We have kids that we're raising together. Like you kind of develop. I feel like there was probably more feelings of love towards a few of them.
You're kind of bonding together.
Yeah.
I've seen some comments in the past of some people saying, and I feel like they're guys saying this, they're like, women should be happy about sharing the home and someone to help them clean and cook. And I'm like, okay, from a dude's perspective, like I can imagine that some of that sure would be pros to the situation. But from your perspective, were there more pros or cons with living polygamy?
Well, people think, well, why wouldn't that be better to have multiple women in the home helping you cook, clean, raise your children? Think of this. With every woman that comes in the home, there's 5 or 6 more kids. So does it really help?
Right.
Does it really help? No, I don't think so. I don't. Like all it does is like brings more mouths to feed, more messes to clean up, more people. I'm just like, there's no pros here, guys. Like, come on.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that, just because I kind of had an eye roll reaction to that comment and I was like, ugh, but obviously I haven't had that experience. So I wanted to find out from you what you actually thought. But it makes total sense. It's not 5 women taking care of one family.
No.
It's 5 women taking care of 5 families.
There's no pros to it. And that's exactly how it was with every woman that came. They had their own set of children. Like they had children too. And the family just gets bigger and bigger. By the time our family was the size it was when I left, we had 20 something. I don't even remember the exact number. Children under one roof. And, I have like 30 plus siblings myself at this point. So families are big there, and there's just nothing easy about providing and taking care of that many children. Nothing easy.
Yeah. And something that I wanted to ask you about from your other interviews that I've seen in the past is that there was this point where Warren just started sending people away. And are you comfortable talking about what happened with your family unit and how that panned out?
Sure. Yeah, I can talk about it. So Warren Jeffs did start sending people away for various reasons. And it was a very, what's the word? It happened very quickly, where he was just like, hey, you go, you go, you go, you go. And it was like one family after another was being split up. And our family, the family I was a part of at the time, was one of the first to have that happen to them. And it was just like a random Tuesday. I don't know which day, but it was a random weekday. And all of a sudden, all the women and my ex got into a vehicle and just left. And I'm just like sitting there. Like they didn't ever do that without being like, hey, we're running to the store or this or that. And I was actually scared shitless at this time, because I thought maybe they were going to get blessings, like a church blessing of some kind, and I was being left behind. And I was mortified, because I was like, maybe I didn't qualify, or something's wrong with me. I did something wrong. So they get to go be a part of whatever they're doing with that. They can't tell me because it's a secret, obviously a church secret. So I felt like I had done something wrong. And it was like that all day, where I was super stressed out, going over everything that had happened over the past few months, wondering like what I had done to create this situation where I wasn't involved in what they're doing.
Yeah.
But when they came back later that day, then my ex pulled me aside and said, we need to talk. And I was like, great. So it's really as bad as I had like ever imagined. And I thought this whole time it was because of something I had done. And he just broke down and was just like sobbing, a grown man, like sobbing. And he could barely even get the words out. And he said, I'm losing my family. I'm losing everything. I have to be gone by tonight. And all I can take is what I need to survive. And then he told me the exact words that were said to him. And one of the phrases was, you need to leave and go far away to repent and never come back. I was like, okay. And he said, and all the other wives have to come with me. He said, your name was named, but it was named as you are the only one that can stay. And I was
Oh my
like,
gosh.
what is happening? So that it was a very like traumatic and emotional day for everyone. Everyone was just wailing in tears. Everyone, because they had to leave their children.
They made them leave their children behind?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm trying to understand what the benefit of that is. Like, why would Warren want to do that and remove the women too?
I have my own ideas on this. And I still I believe this even to this day. If you remove influence, positive influence or protection from children, you can then
manipulate.
Yes, you can manipulate them easier. You can make them into who you want. So if there's a protective parent, a mom or dad that's like, no, I don't think we should do that. That's not right. We're not doing that with my child. Then that stops them from being able to do whatever it is they were going to do. And with the FLDS, if you remove the parents, what do you have? A lot of children without that protection. And the leader can literally say, go do this, go do that, go do this, go live with this person. And horrible, horrible things happen and have happened because of that separation. And I haven't talked about this a lot, but I do know that after a lot of parents were removed, it left the children completely exposed. And it gave predators, which I believe Warren Jeffs and every single one of the men that were close to him are predators, open availability to these unprotected children. That's how I see it.
Oh my gosh, that's heartbreaking. And now are you the one that's responsible for all these 20 plus kids in your house?
So 2 of the moms had arranged for their children to go live with their relatives. And so they were all situated by the end of that day before everyone left. But I was still left there with 2 of the other moms' kids for a short period of time. It wasn't long at all. And they were then placed with relatives as well. And then I went and moved back in with my dad's family.
Okay.
And they let someone else use the big house that we were in.
Wow, they just ripped everything right out from under you. Just pulled the rug right out.
Yep. And that they did it to so many families. Like that was not, even though we were one of the first, it happened over and over and over hundreds of times for weeks and weeks and weeks after that. It was just like this huge purge of people that left hundreds and thousands of children parentless.
Was this the first time that you started to consider you had an option to leave now that you were no longer a part of this family structure?
Yeah, it was right around that time where I was like, hey, the reasoning for them being kicked out did not make sense at all.